Ever fantasized about jetting off to exotic places, looking sharp in your uniform, effortlessly gliding through airports?
Effortlessly well.
Okay. Maybe not that part. But still, today we're deep diving into what it really takes to be a flight attendant.
We're going way beyond those glossy brochures, digging into the nitty-gritty with RoleCatcher's career
We're
guides.
talking skills, knowledge, the works, everything you need for this high-flying career.
Buckle up, folks. It's not all about serving drinks with a smile.
All right, let's unpack this. First things first. What surprised you the most about the flight attendant role?
Honestly, the tech skills. And I don't just mean working the intercom.
Oh, like in-flight Wi-Fi troubleshooting?
Think bigger. We're talking AI analyzing job applications.
Hold on, seriously. A computer decides who gets an interview.
In a way, yeah. It analyzes tone, word choice, like it's reading between the lines to see if you fit the airline's culture.
Wow. Kind of wish I had that back in the day. So it's not just what you say, but how you say it.
It's wild. They're even suggesting improvements, personalized tips to highlight your best skills.
An AI career coach. That's next level.
It makes sense though, right? Airlines are all about efficiency, even in hiring.
Okay, so beyond impressing the robots, what skills should someone actually highlight to become a flight attendant?
Well, think about it. Airlines need people who can handle anything. Delays, diversions, medical emergencies. You got to think fast on your feet.
Absolutely. Things can change quickly at 30,000 feet. It's a high-pressure environment.
Exactly. RoleCatcher really emphasizes critical thinking. You can't just follow a script up there. You need to assess situations, make good decisions under pressure.
Quick thinking, adaptability, nerves of steel. What about people skills? I imagine you need a whole other toolbox for that.
You nailed it. RoleCatcher calls it customer and personal service, and it goes way beyond being polite.
Oh, I bet.
We're talking conflict resolution, understanding different cultures, even a bit of salesmanship.
Hold on, salesmanship? You mean beyond the duty-free cart?
Think premium snacks, those little upgrades that add up. A good flight attendant is a brand ambassador at 30,000 feet.
True. They can make or break the whole passenger experience. But let's be real, it's not always smooth sailing, right?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
What are some of the tougher parts of being a flight attendant that people might not realize?
The schedule's a big one. Early mornings, red-eye flights, holidays, you name it. It's not the most predictable 9 to 5.
Yeah, that jet-setting lifestyle sounds glamorous until you're working every holiday. And what about the physical side of things? Pushing those heavy carts up and down the aisle can't be easy.
It's definitely more demanding than it looks. You're constantly on your feet, dealing with turbulence, lifting luggage. It's a workout at 30,000 feet.
Right, and then there's jet lag. That can really mess you up.
It's a real concern. Disrupted sleep, mood swings, fatigue. Something to consider if you're thinking about a career that involves constantly changing time zones.
It's not all glamorous layovers and Instagram-worthy meals. So we've talked about the tech side, the people skills, even the physical demands. What about the knowledge required?
This is where it gets interesting. Beyond safety procedures and aircraft stuff, there are some surprising areas of expertise.
Don't tell me there's a pop quiz on airplane trivia.
Not quite. But according to RoleCatcher, geography is super important.
Geography. I thought the pilots were the ones who needed to know where they're going.
Sure, pilots handle navigation, but passengers might have questions about the route, landmarks they're flying over, even cultural differences at their destination.
That makes sense. You're like a tour guide in the sky.
Exactly. A knowledgeable flight attendant can really enhance the whole passenger experience.
Okay, geography? Check. What else should aspiring flight attendants have in their knowledge arsenal?
RoleCatcher really emphasizes cultural sensitivity. Remember, you're dealing with people from all walks of life, each with their own customs and expectations.
Right, so it's not just about speaking different languages. It's about understanding different communication styles, personal space, maybe even religious practices.
Absolutely. You're a global citizen representing the airline with grace and understanding no matter where you land.
It's like you're creating a little microcosm of global harmony up there at 30,000 feet.
Exactly.
So clearly being a flight attendant requires a unique mix of skills, knowledge, and adaptability.
Yeah.
But how does this all translate to the interview process, especially with that AI recruiter watching your every move?
Ah, yes, the interview. That's where you really get to shine, to show the airline why you're the perfect fit for this fast-paced, people-oriented role. And you're right, that AI we talked about, still playing a role behind the scenes.
This is where it gets really interesting. So let's go back the curtain on these AI-powered interviews and what you can do to stand out. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be right back with more insights from RoleCatcher's career guides. And we're back, folks, diving deeper into the wild world of flight attendants. Before the break, we were talking about AI in the hiring process. And let me tell you, that interview stage can be a little intimidating.
Definitely. It's your chance to really sell yourself, show the airline why you're the perfect fit. RoleCatcher actually has this whole section on beating the automated recruiter.
Beating the automated recruiter sounds kind of intense, like you're going up against some supercomputer.
It's not that far off.
Yeah.
The key is understanding how those AI systems work. Remember, they're scanning for keywords, phrases that match the job description, but also real examples of your skills in action.
So it's not enough to just say you're a people person on your resume. You need to back it up with stories of how you handled a tough customer or something.
Exactly. Be ready for those classic behavioral interview questions. Tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer. Describe a situation where you had to think on your feet, that sort of thing, and have those specific examples ready to go.
So, like, let's say you're at 30,000 feet, the fasten seatbelt sign just came on, and suddenly a passenger's freaking out because their bag of pretzels. Well, it doesn't have enough pretzels. What do you do?
Perfect example. They want to see you stay calm under pressure, how you de-escalate, turn that frown upside down, all while maintaining that professional demeanor.
And maybe offer a few extra pretzels for good measure.
Precisely. Sometimes it's the little things that can make all the difference.
So we've covered those behavioral questions, but what about the more technical side of the interview? Are they going to grill you on, like, airplane trivia or emergency procedures?
They might dig into your understanding of safety regulations or ask about steps you'd take in a specific emergency, but they're not expecting you to be a walking aviation manual before training even starts.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. What about cultural sensitivity? We talk about how crucial that is for flight attendants. Does that come up in the interview?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher actually recommends being ready to talk about your own experiences with different cultures, how you handle miscommunication, what you do if a passenger's customs were different from your own.
It's more than just knowing how to say hello in 5 different languages. It's about understanding all those little nuances of how people interact.
Exactly. They want someone adaptable, respectful, who can navigate those differences smoothly. As a flight attendant, you're not just representing the airline, you're kind of a cultural ambassador too.
Right. Like you're creating this little bubble of global harmony up there at 30,000 feet.
Precisely. It takes a certain skill set and genuine appreciation for diversity.
So let's say you've totally nailed the interview, the AI is giving you a big thumbs up, and boom, you've got the job. Congratulations. Now, what does moving up the ladder look like for a flight attendant? Is it a case of seen one airplane cabin, seen them all? Or are there opportunities to, spread your wings a bit?
Great question. And it turns out RoleCatcher actually outlines clear career stages. You usually start as an entry-level flight attendant, which makes sense. It's about learning the ropes, greeting passengers, helping them get settled, making sure they understand those safety procedures. You're creating that first impression.
Right, so even at the entry level, you're the face of the airline, making sure everything runs smoothly from the moment people step on board. That's a lot of responsibility.
It is. Then, as you gain experience, rack up those air miles, you can move up to junior flight attendant. According to RoleCatcher, this is where you might get more involved in pre-flight safety checks, helping prepare the cabin, maybe even doing those in-flight safety demonstrations.
Wait, they don't just use those pre-recorded announcements for everything?
Some do, but there's something about that human touch, especially when it comes to safety. It takes confidence, clear communication, being able to keep a cool head. That's why they often have more experienced crew handle it.
Right. It probably makes it a little more engaging for the passengers, too. Breaks up the monotony of those automated announcements. So, you've mastered the safety demo, you've got a few thousand miles under your belt. What's next?
Well, with experience and a proven track record, you can climb the ranks to senior flight attendant. Think of it like a leadership role, but in the air.
Senior flight attendant, that has a nice ring to it. What kind of responsibilities come with that title? We talking executive lounges, priority boarding?
Haha, maybe not those perks specifically. Senior flight attendants often lead a team of other flight attendants, handle customer complaints, maybe even coordinate things like catering and supplies for the flight. They're essentially responsible for the whole cabin crew running smoothly.
Wow, they really are like the managers of the sky. So, you've reached the top of the flight attendant world. What then? Time to hang up the uniform and enjoy a life of leisure travel.
Not necessarily. Some airlines have management positions on the ground where you can use all that experience in a different setting. Some senior flight attendants specialize in things like safety or customer service, become experts in those areas. And of course, there's always the option to try a different airline, a new company culture, maybe even explore a different part of the aviation industry altogether.
So even if you don't spend the rest of your career in the air, the skills you learn as a flight attendant could be valuable in so many other fields.
Absolutely. Problem solving, communication, cultural awareness,
Mm.
staying calm under pressure. Those are transferable skills. Employers love that.
It's like not just a job, but a whole skill set for life. Speaking of which, RoleCatcher also had some interesting insights on the, shall we say, less glamorous side of this career path. It's not all layovers in exotic locations and free peanuts, is it?
You're right. There are definitely challenges. We talked about the crazy hours and the physical demands, but it can be emotionally demanding too.
Yeah, like dealing with difficult passengers all the time. That takes some serious emotional resilience.
It does. You're interacting with people from all walks of life, often stressed out in a confined space. Patience, empathy, and a thick skin are key.
And what about the impact on your personal life? Missing holidays, birthdays, being away from loved ones for days or even weeks at a time.
Those are definitely things to consider. It's a career that requires flexibility, understanding from your family and friends. You need to be willing to adapt, find ways to stay connected, even when you're thousands of miles apart.
It sounds like being a flight attendant is more than just a job. It's a whole lifestyle. It comes with incredible rewards, but it also requires sacrifices.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's a career that demands passion, dedication, a genuine desire to make a difference for those passengers.
It's about going above and beyond, not just serving drinks at 30,000 feet. It's about safety, comfort, and making sure everyone on board has a positive experience. But it's also about pushing yourself, learning new things, seeing the world.
Exactly. You get a unique perspective, connect with people from all walks of life.
So for anyone listening who's thinking about a career as a flight attendant, what's your final piece of advice based on RoleCatcher's wisdom?
I'd say do your research. This deep dive was just a taste of what it takes to succeed in this field. It's demanding, but so rewarding. If you're still feeling that pull towards the skies, head over to RoleCatcher's website. They have tons of resources to help you prepare, from writing your resume to acing that interview.
Like having a personal career coach in your pocket. And with that, we're going to take a quick breather. But don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be landing this deep dive with some final thoughts on the fascinating world of flight attendants. Stay tuned. And we're back, ready to wrap up this deep dive into the world of flight attendants.
Ready to land this conversation, so to speak.
I like it.
Okay.
So we've covered a ton of ground here, from AI recruiters to those infamous airplane pretzels. What are some of the biggest takeaways you're walking away with from RoleCatcher's guides?
You know, it really hit home for me how important cultural sensitivity is in this role. And I don't just mean being able to say hello in a few different languages.
Right, it's deeper than that.
It's about really understanding and respecting those cultural differences, making everyone feel welcome and safe no matter where they're from. You're creating a positive atmosphere, a little pocket of global community up there at 30,000 feet.
Absolutely. It's about more than just serving drinks. It's about being a cultural ambassador, in a way.
Exactly. And speaking of things that go beyond the surface, we talked about the challenges of the job too. The tough schedules, the physical demands. You really need resilience to thrive in this career.
Definitely. You've got to be able to handle those unexpected situations, those pretzel emergencies, with grace under pressure.
And let's not forget the jet lag.
Oh, right. It's not all glamorous layovers and airport selfies.
Right.
So for anyone listening who's heard all of this and is still thinking, sign me up, I want to travel the world and rock that uniform, what would you tell them?
I'd say go for it. But go in with your eyes wide open. This deep dive was just a glimpse into the life of a flight attendant. There's so much more to explore.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher comes in. Their website is a goldmine of information for anyone serious about this career path.
Absolutely. They've got everything from resume tips to interview prep, all designed to help you succeed.
It's like having a personal career coach, just a click away. And on that note, it's time for us to disembark this episode. But hey, this is just the beginning of the journey, right? For all of you amazing listeners out there, keep exploring those career paths, keep chasing your dreams, and remember,
Sky's the limit.
until next time on The Deep Dive.